Welcome to Elon and Tesla. I'm Mike West. Thanks for joining me. Over the last few days, Elon's Twitter account has been active over Elon's question about the mainstream media's relentless negativity. Elon asked, why is traditional media such a relentless hate stream? Let's hear it straight from the haters. Let's start off with Twitter. Now, there's another person who used to use Twitter in the past to communicate directly with his followers, bypassing the traditional media, who was even more vilified than Elon. Here are some clips from his Time Person of the Year award that make that obvious.
He's got 65 million Twitter followers, and he likes to make weird jokes and set people off, and sometimes with a single tweet he can control the stock market or the value of various different cryptocurrencies. So this is a man who's just sort of become ever-present across a lot of different sectors, and this was really the year that he came into his own.
Here's why Elon uses Twitter as often as he does.
I mean, the only thing I've kept is Twitter because I kind of need some means of getting a message out, you know?
Right.
Well, that's about it. So far, so good.
Here's another hit piece vilifying his tweets.
Elon Musk definitely uses Twitter in a way that no other business leader does. And it's gotten him into a lot of trouble in recent years.
His Twitter feed is juvenile, to say the least. He has insulted some important people in really immature ways. But when a person with 65 million followers and $300 billion is just having fun, that tends to create ripples in the larger pond.
Now, he's not hated by the media solely because he tweets. He's also hated because he's rich. Let's have a look.
One of the main criticisms of him is just that he's so rich. Should any human being be worth $300 billion?
Bad news for Molly and the haters. Elon's about to get a lot richer. He's probably going to be the first trillionaire over the next 5 years. I think it's important to note that Elon's wealth is wrapped up in his stock. He doesn't have billions just sitting around.
I do not have any offshore accounts. I don't have any sort of tax shelters. I have basically Tesla and SpaceX stock.
All right, so far we have two main reasons he's hated. He uses Twitter and he's rich. Moving on. They also don't like him because he's not paying enough taxes. Now I find that strange because he's paid more taxes than any other person in history.
She struck first,
yeah,
obviously.
Right. Yes, she did.
She called me a freeloader.
Yeah.
And a grifter who doesn't pay taxes, basically. And I'm literally paying the most tax that any individual in history has ever paid this year, ever.
That's not it. Musk isn't a fan of big government or income redistribution.
Then, at a certain point, really what you're doing is capital allocation. So you're not. It's not money for personal expenditures. What you're doing is capital allocation, and it does not make sense to take the job of capital allocation away from people who have demonstrated great skill in capital allocation and give it to an entity that has demonstrated very poor skill in capital allocation, which is the government.
Now, we've talked about why the mainstream media takes issue with Elon, but why does the mainstream financial media hate him so much? The success of Tesla has ended careers and cost billions of dollars. Many of the losers on the short side were friends and colleagues of those of the mainstream financial media. Now, it's not Elon's fault that their career is over and their money is gone. Nevertheless, it's his company that ended their careers. Can you imagine being one of these guys? Incredible careers ended by shorting the company that brought the auto industry out of the Ice Age. Pun intended there.
We're short Tesla via outright stock, and we own long-dated puts and some short-dated puts. And it's a seven-figure dollar amount of stock that we're short.
How long have you been short Tesla?
So we've been shorted 4 years.
We are still basically maximum short Tesla. It's still one of my favorite positions.
I want to talk about one of your most famous calls, which is Tesla. You've been publicly short since fall of 2015.
Tesla is one of, many things we have in what we call our bubble basket of stocks that we just think are mispriced, and they're mispriced by huge amounts.
Look, everybody has a pain threshold, and when a stock becomes unmoored from valuation because it has certain dynamic growth aspects to it and has cult-like aspects to it, you have to just walk away.
While none of them logical, it's easy to see why the mainstream media is so negative on Tesla and so negative on Elon. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.